Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Datia. We have with us Ravi Chawla, Managing Director and CEO at Gulf Oil Lubricants India, joining in. Welcome to the show, Ravi. Pleasure to speak to you as well. Overall, if you go to see, the kind of impact that we've seen with COVID from March to now, nothing has left is left untouched. Now, the recovery that has come in the last 2 to 3 months has been spectacular. I mean, it was something that no one really expected as well. How would you actually describe the second quarter as compared to the first one?
Well, you see, the first quarter we had, obviously, April was a completely shut down month. We had some agriculture sales of lubricants. And then we saw May getting normalized in the mid of May to the extent of some of the open markets, and again, agriculture leading it. Towards June, we saw that our lubricants, which are mainly replacement lubricants, there was a pent up demand. So we saw other segments like motorcycle coming in. And actually, if you look at our first quarter, obviously it was a mixed bag because the volumes were not there, but we managed to control our costs a lot. And quarter two actually has been a very good pickup, I would say, in the overall demand right across. 95% of our sales are all replacement lubricants, and we have actually reported a single-digit growth. 7% growth in volumes in quarter two,
Hmm.
and a lot of the segments have come back and come back quite strongly. Agri, which ushered it in May, I would say in June, we saw that continued. But seasonality affects agriculture lubricants. We have a lot of tie-ups with Mahindra, Swaraj, and our own lubricants for agri. But all round our automotive, our industrial business, quarter two, especially because we were very clear that we need to have a demand sensing model. We need to have a good supply chain getting back, and of course controlling our costs. So all in all, you see, for us, quarter two has been, as you rightly said, above expectation, that the
Hmm.
bounce back has happened in the last 2 months also. And we would say it went 10% better than what we anticipated as a good scenario. So this has really been for our sector, which is mainly primarily replacement lubricants, where your cars, bikes, tractors, industrial equipments require lubricants to start up again. And I think this has been really what we have seen from our point of view. Of course, as an industry, there is definitely a challenge in growth, but Gulf has been always growing 2 to 3 times the market growth rate, and this is really what we have observed. And as you rightly said, the last 2 months have been similar in terms of growth trajectory and picking up.
Hmm. Right. So, with all of this, what were the kind of cost-cutting measures that you adopted so that you would be able to somewhere maintain your margin and profitability?
Yeah, you are right. We have quarter two has turned out to be, we normally have a band of 16 to 18% of margin. Quarter two has
Hmm.
been 19%. And this is primarily because you see, we had to hold back on our, obviously travel cost was a no-brainer. That is something which comes down completely. And we looked at, our brand has also become strong as the number two brand in the private sector, as the overall market actually. What we have seen, a brand strength has been built over the last decade. And we obviously cut back on a lot of our above the line, below the line activations obviously were not happening. So A&P has been one, and other cost cutting, even where we had fixed contracts, our agency charges, and prudence all round in terms of overall cost management at the plant level, at the head office level. I think these, every head was, in fact, there was a crack team made, or a I would say effort team made only for cost, only for demand sensing, only for supply chain. So we formed these 4 5 teams which were focusing only what was required, given the challenges we had. And I think all around cost, certainly A&P, one of the costs which we have controlled over the last 5 6 months.
Right. And did any raw material cost benefits trickle in as well?
Well, costs in the quarter one, we had definitely the cost of the base oils which we have, and those things were there, which came to an advantage also. But there was, in the market, there was obviously some movement in terms of pricing schemes, which we had to also, follow. But yes, there was in quarter one. Quarter two also there is, but we are now seeing that there could be some increase in the base oil costs. base oil is again made by refineries, and there is a demand
Hmm.
supply. So whatever we see, definitely our industry has followed a practice. If there is an increase or decrease, there is a price, adjustment which happens with a lag time. So that is the same trend we are seeing now.
Right. And are you expecting this demand scenario to continue for the rest of the year if you have to take FY21 into consideration? Or do you think this is just a spurt which is coming, which probably for the next 1 to 2 quarters, because the way COVID has been panning out, will not be sustainable?
Well, Hiral, you are right. You see, what you said is absolutely right. These challenges are there. So, as I mentioned to you, see, we are a replacement lubricant,
Hmm.
market here, and most of our lubricants, except 5%, 6%, which goes into the new vehicles, factory fill, what we call, we have seen that there is a pent-up demand. And as we look at our distribution strengths, our segments which we are in, whether we are in infrastructure or in the retail bazaar or with OEMs and industrial segments, we are seeing that this demand has been really, continuing. Even this month, we are seeing that the demand continues. What is going to happen in the industry? Our reading is that overall the industry volumes will contract this year by double digit. So if you take the
Okay.
full year, April to
Hmm.
March, it will contract because obviously you have not sold in April and you've had lower sales in May and June,
Correct.
and so there is a contraction. But you see, our strategy has been, even in phases where the market that if the trajectory which we are seeing in the last few months continues, even quarter three and quarter four, we should be able to look at meeting last year's volumes and obviously looking at growth, which we always do.
Right. So which segments have seen a faster revival, in this quarter? And secondly, when you move from here on, do you see that shift happening from the segments which have delivered to growth versus the ones which have not really delivered that growth, they picking up?
If you analyze this from a COVID impact point of view, yes, certainly the first segment which picked up was agriculture.
Hmm.
Did very well in April, May, June, and that season comes back now because agriculture season starts again now. So agriculture
Hmm.
will continue. Seasonality effect is there. Motorcycle segment for us was subdued initially. Now it is picking up well, and it will continue.
Hmm.
The question mark is going to be around the diesel engine oils, which are commercial vehicles. Now, there again, the replacement side is doing well. Factory fill is started to pick up. So we'll have to wait and watch here. And industrial segment, which also an infrastructure, which forms part of our segments, we are seeing a good, pickup there. And I think it will continue. And because, various infrastructure projects are opening up. If you take
Hmm.
industries are all, all the factories are working. There is demand coming up, auto components, metalworking, all these industries are now, the cement. There is going to be a pickup because everybody wants to use the second half as a, makeup. There has to be a makeup in the second half for every industry, and we have to
Hmm.
keep our fingers crossed and very careful about our health and safety of everybody, which we were discussing is an important area. So hopefully India
Hmm.
can keep our cases in control. We can be our disciplined and self-aware onto what we can do, and then the economy will continue to have these because everybody wants to make up in the second half, because
Hmm.
industry and business and the livelihood of people, that has to continue. And I'm hopeful that we will see these green shoots continuing for some time.
Right. And another major challenge, Ravi, that businesses like these faced, which are more B2C, is supply chain and distribution. How did you manage that, and how are you still managing that right now?
You see, about 50-55% of ours is like a B2C model, what you rightly said, and the balance is direct to industries and OEMs. Very rightly so, one had to get the supply chain really, really sharpened. In fact, we started dispatching from our warehouses directly to bigger customers who used to go en route through just different ways. So we have to adapt our supply chain. One is to get the supply chain rhythm back. So right from our packaging to our raw materials, Obviously, we have stock levels in the plant for base oils and additives. So we have challenging because packaging is a big challenge to get the right packaging mix because so many small packs. Just to give an example, we sell 1.4 million motorcycle packs a month.
Wow.
That's the kind of sales we are doing. So if you look at these kind of challenges, I think initially for the first 4 5 months we saw that this was a key area of I would say performance parameter for success.
Mm.
And now we feel it has come back to what the rhythm was pre-COVID, and people have opened up, people are getting all the packaging materials. And if you look at supply chain, the distributors that we have, about 300 plus for the automotive segment, which is B2C, they are all now well equipped with stock, and actually we are seeing a better role of their products.
Mm.
And that rhythm has come back. And of course some of the product mix will change because what is selling is what is demanded. So passenger car oils have started picking up now last 2 3 months. So we have got the supply chain as a key focus area, and we actually have worked a lot on getting things open and getting things normalized. And that is going to be a key, I would say, critical thing to do for the next few months also for everyone.
Right. And overall, if you go to see now that you are seeing, auto sales which are increasing month on month basis, especially the demand for two-wheelers and entry-level four-wheelers is increasing. Are you expecting a change in the revenue mix for your different segments of business for the current year?
See, we are not supplying to the new vehicles. The new vehicles which are bought brand new, those are taken. The oil comes from the OEM and then it's filled in. The franchisee workshop service them. Now there we have a role to play for certain OEMs where we have tie-ups. That is definitely going to help us if the new vehicles come up. For example, we are supplying to Bajaj, Mahindra, Ashok Leyland, some of the other OEMs also we are supplying. Just named a few. So there we have little bit stake in the factory fill, especially commercial vehicles. We have good stake. There we will see that we will get a better revenue. And in the franchisee workshops, when the product comes for warranty, the bike or the car or that there we will get some increase over what we currently see. But 95% of our business, as I said, is into the replacement lubricant. And that is where that depends on economy, that depends on the older vehicle which comes out of warranty. So I think we have to see both these aspects. And you are absolutely right. The new vehicles are also going up. And for example, now rural, we have a big rural network which we started a few years ago. Now that we saw is really taken up in the first few months and even continuing now. Now second-hand bikes and cars, though entry-level cars people are buying, a lot of people now have started using their bikes. If the metro is not working, they're on their bike. If the local train not, so that demand for us is a key sort of. I would not say it's going to give us a huge spurt in revenue, but that is a demand for companies and our sort of position.
Right. So in terms of different geographies as well, Ravi, where are you seeing a better pickup and where do you think it's still stagnant?
So we have a distribution pan India, which is across India. So we have certain strengths. We are not very high market share in the passenger car motor oils in most of the markets. So we have an opportunity there for us. And if you talk about geographic pickup, I would say that we are seeing a uniform pickup right through. Quite honestly, every region, the kind of pickup we have seen segment-wise, of course, getting phased out. Is there because India as a whole, if you see the transportation and movement, anywhere where there is movement of vehicle and industrial equipment, we are there as a lubricant marketeer. So we have seen that right across. There has been a thing. Yes, in the initial part we had the green, orange, and red zones, so there was a bit of phasing. Initially, we did see rural really go up a lot. But now we have seen that passenger car motor oils are picking up in the cities, as you rightly said. The cities, the tier 1, tier 2 cities. So that demand sensing is a very, very important aspect. So we actually have a program where our distributors online feed us information on what they are billing on daily basis. So we know which product is picking up where, and we can then accordingly plan our supplies and our efforts in terms of support.
Right. And with this, if we talk about the first half of FY21, we saw a revenue base of about 650 odd crores. If you talk about the second half of the year, do you think it will be similar or do you think we will be able to match what we did in the second half of FY20?
Well, we are hoping that we can do what you said in the latter. That is certainly, as I said, make up and make good is definitely what we look at. And of course, the first half has been impacted with, I would say 1.5 months of actually this. So definitely, we are looking at the latter, what you said, and we are very, looking at it also in terms of increasing our market share across some of the segments that we feel we can take up. And we have a very good. Supply chain. We have two plants with capacity. Our Chennai plant started a few years ago and doing very well. And we are also got a very good network in terms of our 70,000 outlets, our 300 plus automotive distributors, 50 plus industrial distributors. We have over 500 infrastructure customers who buy from us. We have more than 15 OEMs. So, with this network strength, and our brand being, I would say well positioned, we have seen, just to give you an example, during this IPL, we had the IPL, we are the sponsors of Chennai Super Kings, and also Mahendra Singh Dhoni is our brand ambassador for more than a decade. We had launched a couple of trade promotions which did very well. And, then obviously we facilitate that the retailers can sell more tertiary, and, therefore the demand of secondary and primary goes up. So we have seen that, we'll be able to leverage our strengths and create, obviously, as you see, when IPL came, everybody, it was like a soothing balm. Everybody was at home, they were watching IPL, and we feel that we are in a good strength to definitely do the latter, what you mentioned, that try to make well in the second half.
Right. And any, newer markets or newer product lines you're looking to enter in terms of new product launches?
So, Hiral, we are the pioneers of long drain lubricants since 2006. Sorry, we launched India's first long drain oil for commercial vehicles. Just to give you a simple example, trucks were changing oils at 16,000, 18,000 kilometers for oil change. We launched in 2006 a product which gave 36,000 drain interval. That means double. So when you say value add, we are looking at value add segments, because today the customer is also looking for value with the current situation around. What can give me more value? So we have definitely looked at certain segments where we can add value. We are looking at, there are segments in various markets. If you take our motorcycle, car, etc., like synthetic oils, we are launching new products now in the motorcycle segment. We are going to be also bringing new products in the car segment, which will add more value. And in commercial vehicles, again, we have launched a number of new products which are BS6 and BS4. The BS6 product can give better value in the BS4 vehicle. So just to tell you an example, supposing you are using an oil for a BS4 vehicle, with the BS6 lubricant, you can actually get 25-30% more value. So we are launching these kind of products which will help to, give more value to the customer. And definitely, these are the areas which today the customer is looking for. We have increased our digital budgets, digitization budgets. So how to keep in connect with the customer, get immediate feedback from industrial customers, how to connect with our retailers. They can now order the goods on an app. They can order whatever they want on an app. So these are the kind of things which will help us to, look at the value add.
Right. So FY21 overall, what's the kind of growth that you're expecting?
You see, FY21, you're talking about now 21, 22, or 2021. Okay.
2020.
So, yeah. So 2021 is going to be impacted because, the volumes in the first half are there. As I told you, for us, second half, we want to look at our make well, make good kind of thing. So I would say that we want to try our best to try to, have the growth which has happened in Q2 continue in the next few quarters. We have had a 7% volume growth in Q2. So we hope we can continue growth trajectory for the next 2 quarters.
Right. And any capex plans that you're looking at right now?
No. So we are basically, we have done our capex, normal capex, which is there. We are looking at, we mentioned that, in terms of our battery business, we could have some options of localizing the manufacturing. So there are still discussions on.
Right. And any fundraising plans or anything on that front? Because what's happened, or even, on the cash flow front, Ravi, what's happened is companies which have a lot of B2C focus, their cash flow has really improved well in times of COVID, which again is a blessing in disguise for everyone. Do you think that's something which is going to be sustainable?
Yeah, I think so. We are seeing that the collections have again surprised us to an extent that the way we have seen you rightly said. In fact, we are a net debt-free company. End of September, our cash was around 300 crores, which is significantly higher than what it was in March, which was 200 crores. So you have seen the improvement of 100 crores.
Correct. Correct.
So yeah, so that is that we continue to see that there is a robust. Also it goes with the position of the company, the trade, and the strength of the brand, which helps us to do that.
Right. All right, Ravi. Pleasure speaking to you. Thank you for sharing those updates and good luck for the coming quarters. Stay safe and hoping to speak to you soon as well.
Thank you so much, Nirav.